Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Cowboys onto their third straight loss for the second time this season, 31-24 final from Soldier Field in Chicago. But fellas, this score is not an accurate representation of how this game was played at all. Barry Church, Nate Newton, former Cowboys, and I'm Lindsay Draper here. I don't want to say, should we go with horrendous? Horrendous game out there. I mean, it was the worst game of the season for the Cowboys, especially defensively. Offense could not get anything going. Give me one sentence of how you're feeling right now about the way, the effort this team showed tonight.
Time of possession was ugly. And I got to give you that hidden yards on special teams, where you possess the ball on average on the field. And we didn't do a very good job. Our first time dealing with the Chicago Bears, they started on their 35, 49, 49, 36, 30, and 46. That is too easy. That is too easy to score from. And believe me, they took advantage of it.
We did take advantage of it, and I mean, like you said, I mean, it was just too easy of a field, too short of a field for the Chicago offense to drive down. In one sense, I got to say the effort. I'm not even sure the effort was there. I mean, it looked like they were running things down from behind, but a lot of missed tackles, a lot of arm tackles, a lot of getting stuck on blocks. I mean, you usually don't see that with Rob Manelli teams, so I think they're gonna have to question the effort on this one.
All right, we're gonna hear from Jason Garrett momentarily, as well as Jerry Jones if he speaks, and other Cowboys players. But for now, let's go to the highlights. Take a quick look back at what happened with the Cowboys with this starting off strong. The drive, it was a long drive.
Yeah, right at 7-8 minutes, man. Gallup right there with a good 9-yard catch, man. Zeke Bowles in there. I mean, with a thunder, I say, okay, the Cowboys are in. Mm-hmm. Bennett had a great speech. It carried through in practice. It was chippy, doing what they needed to do. And, hey, we finna do some things.
Run the ball on the road well. Then Jordan Lewis gets involved, gets an interception off Mitchell Trubisky early.
I mean, he's always around the ball.
Yeah,
he's a ball
Jordan
magnet.
Lewis, ball hawk, double tap, double tap.
Drag swag, as they say. That was pretty.
You just knew that they were well on their way.
Got smiles from Garrett. I mean,
smiles early on
from the head coach.
All right, Trubisky would go on to find J.P. Holds for a gain of 30 yards. Well, defense here.
The defense, I mean,
staying on blocks, like Church said. I mean, coming off and making something happen. That was about a 30-yard gain or something, 28-yard gain.
And Holds is a guy you've never heard of. I mean,
Here we go, finding Allen Robinson for a touchdown. He would have 2 tonight. One of the players of the game for Chicago.
For sure. I mean, he was deadly in this red zone. I mean, he made the corners look like fools out there today.
Ezekiel Elliott going vintage Zeke here for a 31-yard gain.
I mean, that was a nice run, man, letting everybody know that he's still there, covering the ball right there. I thought that the Cowboys were going to go back-to-back. I thought it was going to go neck-to-neck, and I thought they was going to score every time Chicago scored.
I don't know where it went wrong. This was a momentum change. 42-yarder missed by Brett Maher. After the Cowboys have a kicker workout here on Sunday, didn't sign any of them, decided to ride with Maher. Definite disappointment there, and Trubisky would find Robinson again for an 8-yard touchdown.
3 plays in a row they tried Jalen Smith, and they finally hit pay dirt here with Robinson. He did a great job 2 times in a row, but that 3rd time was a charm for them.
Second half here.
This cannot happen.
This is what the effort I'm talking about right here. I mean, this guy is a 3rd and 8. He caught the ball for a 5-yard gain. There's at least 5 or 6 Cowboys around him, and he literally makes circles around these guys for a 33-yard gain. Here it is again. I mean, just guys stuck on blocks.
To the end zone.
It just looked slow. Chicago made this team look very slow today.
Anthony Miller for a 14-yarder as Chicago continues. Prescott sacked by Khalil Mack here.
Mack right here.
Dak Prescott had absolutely nowhere to go.
Did just what Barry said, came off of his block, ran the quarterback down for a sack. Right here. Good. Hey, strip the ball, get it out. I think we come down and score after this. You know, just good play, good effort, play by the defense.
Yep, Ezekiel Elliott again would get in there.
Bulls in there, man.
Made it a game. He made it kind of a game.
Right here, though, you see it's 24-7.
Yes.
So that's I mean, that's at the end of the game. So that's the actual, more like the score that you were looking at in fourth quarter right there. Trubisky would again find Robinson for another gain of 22 yards. Mitchell Trubisky on the move tonight, guys. Would you expected more from the pass rush?
Pass rush, yeah. A guy like that who can run, that has always given our team trouble, a running quarterback. And he took advantage of it right there very well.
The same play that we've seen all game, the zone replay.
This was the dagger.
Yeah.
There was no adjustments made to it. They've been running it all game. There was no adjustments made. Trubisky made him pay.
Poor tackling.
23-yard scramble from Mitchell Trubisky, 31-24 from Chicago. That's what you're looking at. I know you talked about the time of possession, Nate, and we'll get more into all the stats, and we will hear from head coach Jason Garrett, as well as more Cowboys players from the locker room right after this quick break.
Welcome to the well. A little bit disappointed. Thought we'd have a victory tonight over Chicago, but we didn't.
Not at all.
Once again, Barry, I'm with Barry Church. I'm Nate Newton. I hate to bring this up. Poor tackling again.
Poor tackling. And it was the effort, too. I mean, usually you see these teams, these Rod Marinelli type teams, they gang tackle. There's 5 or 6 hats at the ball at any given time. But today's game, there was a lot of missed tackles, a lot of arm tackles, a lot of guys being just stuck on blocks, not just trying to get off blocks and make plays. To me, it was an embarrassing effort, but I mean, they got to improve. They're still in first place. They got to improve.
They started on their own 35, 49, 49, 36, 30, and 46. Short fields, poor tackling, not enough turnovers. We had 2, but not enough to give our offense a short field so they could stay in the game. They scored 7 points, and then they went on a 24-point tear before we scored again.
Back-to-back weeks. Buffalo happened the same way.
Man, back to Miss Lindsay.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
Welcome back into Cowboys game night. We are live from the Star in Frisco, but we are going to quickly send you out to the podium where head coach Jason Garrett is speaking with the media right now.
Score in the game, obviously, and a really good start, 17-play drive, and you said it. We did a good job converting those third downs to keep that drive alive, and then we just did not do a good enough job after that, and weren't able to stay on the field like we needed to. Some of them were manageable that we didn't make. Some of them were a little bit more challenging, but that was a big story in the game.
Jason, do you think your team is still confident?
Obviously, we didn't play well enough in all 3 phases of our team, and I think there are probably levels of confidence. And sometimes when you have adversity, you lose a game, you lose a couple games, that gets challenged. And again, I thought getting off to a good start was good for us, but they did a good job just coming right back and moving the ball, and they moved the ball consistently well throughout the game. So, again, there are probably levels of confidence. We need to play better. We need to play more confidently, and unfortunately, we didn't get that done tonight.
Why do you think your team's not answering the adversity in game?
it's hard to pinpoint that. I think there are probably different reasons. I do think that one of the issues we have on our team is guys are trying to do too much, and I think sometimes that creates problems, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, and we have to just get back into being more disciplined down in and down out. That's the way you handle adversity. You execute, and guys are able to make some plays, but on a consistent enough basis, we just didn't do a good enough job of that tonight. We didn't defend the run well enough. We didn't defend the pass well enough. They moved the ball throughout the game.
Do you think the lack of urgency in the unusual situation hurts you at all? As much as you preach what you want to preach, this loss doesn't kill you. You're still in first place. You want to win, but you don't have to stay alive for the playoffs.
Yeah, again, I think what you're trying to instill in your team is those things are irrelevant. You got to come to work every day, prepare the right way, and go play the right way. And give Chicago credit. They did a good job tonight in all three phases of their team. At different times, we played fine. For most of the game, we didn't play well enough. That should be independent of any standings or any playoff hopes. And certainly that's what you're trying to instill in the football team.
Second drive, had an explosive play, didn't convert the third down, didn't make the field goal, and after that, I don't know.
You said earlier with the chippiness and the angry team in practice. Did you see some of that tonight?
Not enough of it.
That disappoints you or surprised you?
Disappoints me. Just because, I know the type of guys we have in this room. I know the type of players we have, and we're just letting each other down.
All right, here we go. Looking at the drop-off from the first quarter to the second quarter. Ezekiel Elliott, the focal point of what the Cowboys were doing in the first quarter. Guys, what was the drop-off?
It's tough. It's tough to imagine, but I think they weren't able to respond to what Chicago was doing with 24 unanswered points.
Yes.
And when they went off like that, it's hard to keep establishing that run when you have to feel like you have to battle back and you have to get points quick. It's hard to keep on that run. But I think they should have. Zeke, he was doing what he needed to do early in that first quarter. He was punishing that Bears defense. You could tell they didn't want to tackle him, but we got away from him early, and it proved to be our downfall, I think.
And our boy Dak is not as accurate as he's been being. He was not
no rhythm
tonight. No rhythm at all. He threw a few of them in the dirt. Now that's the worst we've seen him play, I think, all year. So these past two games, Dak hasn't been as sharp, and we trying to lean on Zeke, but we kind of get away from him for the reasons I don't know. But he plays well when called upon, but we haven't called upon him enough.
What were your guys' reactions to what Jason Garrett said about the team? Just trying to do too much. Haven't lost their confidence, though.
This is a veteran team. Yes, this team is on average is under 28 years of age, but this is a veteran team. Most of these guys have been playing together for 3 years. You know the defense. This is your second or third year with the secondary coach, so you should know the defense. You should know the coverages. You should know what hurts you and what helps you. And so playing out of character, trying to do too much, you know that will hurt you. So settle down, do right, and get yourself going. Got the Rams coming up.
They got the Rams coming up, and I feel like if it's not one thing, it's another thing with this team. Early in the season, it was the slow starts were hurting us. Then it was, we have self-inflicting wounds hurting us, and then our defense can't stop the run. Now we start fast, but we can't respond well to adversity. We can't battle back when teams kind of punch us in the mouth. So if it's not one thing, it's another thing with this team. But they, like you said, they got to figure out to make a complete game and complete team and complete effort and go out there and show us.
All right.
Start with the smallest thing: special teams.
We'll let you know if we hear anything about that. Another quick break. More coming here right on Game Night right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
Earpiece out because I can hear the.
Thank you for coming back to the well with us. I'm with Barry Church, and I'm Nate New. Coach Garrett seemed to be kind of struggling for words there, man, trying to say his team played well, but not good enough the whole game. Isn't that been the problem? We don't know what to expect from our offense, defense, special team from game to game.
That's the problem. Inconsistency throughout the whole season. Like, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, we get one game where the offense putting up 30-some points, but the defense can't stop anybody. Another game like we did in the Saints, where we hold the Saints an explosive offense to 12 points, but we can't score any. But we lose. We've got 10 points on the scoreboard. So it's just a battle of inconsistencies right now, and we got to find a way to right the ship. The playoffs are approaching, and they got a chance to get in there, but they got to be more consistent.
You're 6-7. You're looking for a way. Your coach is looking for a way. Don't players, the veterans in this room, the Jason Wittens, the Bennettts, the DeMarcus Lawrence, don't they have to step up and say something? I mean, Michael Irvin would not let this be happening right now.
Oh, for
not
sure.
If he feel like when we first started together, me and Mike, he didn't say much to the team. But once we got a core young players, the Eric Williams of the world, the Emmitt Smiths, all of a sudden he started talking. I tell you what, we'll share more with you. Back to game night, baby. Back with Ms. Linz.
This segment is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back into Cowboys Game Night. We're continuing here from the Star in Frisco, but now we are going to hear from Jerry Jones, who is speaking with the media in Chicago.
Chicago took it to us. We won't be going anywhere until we can win a football game. They played us well enough tonight to deserve to win the football game. We did all of the things that you can do that cause you to lose football games in the game. So that's where it is until we can get over here and we'll line up against the Rams until we can win a football game. I don't care what kind of contention we're in. We've got to start playing and winning a football game so that we can be able to play better than we played tonight. We thought we would be able to basically play better defense against what they were doing. To their credit, they really were very effective against our defense, obviously, and I'm not telling anything anybody didn't know. So that's the way we look at it. We'll line them up here next week. We're going to go practice, and we're going to try to win a football game. And everybody that's in here that's healthy, and everybody that's healthy that's coaching will be coaching. Everybody that's in here that will be playing, and we just got to play better.
Gary, does it feel like this is going backwards at all?
Well, it's not. It's leveled out here. It's losing, losing, losing. So I'm not trying to be funny here, but the point is that we've got to win a football game. I don't care what the standings are, what the numbers are. We had thought that we could come up here and play a really fine football team, a good team, play a fine football game, and get our act where we're starting to look like a team that could, if we by a slim chance get in the playoffs, where we could win. We can't do that until we play and start winning the football games, and we've got 3 more to play. When we do that, we can go. That's it. I'm not going to answer why I think I'm saying what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying why. I'm saying that, how
Jones affirming that everyone who is healthy will be coaching next week, also saying Jason Garrett will be here as well. Another quick break here for Cowboys Game Night. When we come back, we'll hear from QB1 Dak Prescott. That's right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Wow, the owner took up a whole segment of game night. I want you to tell me what you thought Mr. Jones was saying.
I think he was 100% right. Instead of talking about, these standings and we still got playoff shots and contention and all these other words that they're throwing out there, they need to win games. They need to get back in the winning circle. They can't limp into the playoffs and feel like they're going to make any type of dent in the playoffs. They got to get going with these last couple games going. They can't worry about standings, playoffs, all that stuff. They got to get back in the win column.
You got the Rams coming in here next. I mean, you've lost to the Bears. That's another team that you thought you could honestly beat, but you got the Rams coming. If you beat the Rams, it does two things. It allows you to beat a winning team. It allows you to beat a team that is healthy with Todd Gurley and looking well.
This is true.
So now your confidence goes to another level. You can skip the, hey, we finally got past the game. You won a game against a NFC opponent that is worthy, and they're going to have to play every game. So they coming in hungry because they need to win out in order to get in, and they'll be probably 11 and 5.
They got to play 11 and 5.
You know, and all we got to do is win that game and another game, and we win the East. But it is important that we win that one game. Mr. Jones is true to that.
He is.
Back to Lindsay, game night.
Welcome back into Cowboys Game Night. We talked on pregame about Dak Prescott and what the pressure is mounting to for him. We'll hear from him in just a second. But what do you guys think of the way Dak played and what these losses really mean for him?
He hasn't been sharp the last 2 games. I mean, he's not protecting the ball. He's had 3 turnovers in the last 4 games. I think, did he have one today? He didn't have one today. I think he got through scot-free today. But in the last 4 games, he's had 3 turnovers. That's not Dak. He's not playing that safe, smart football. He's not being instinctive. A lot today you saw him force a few things, and that's not Dak.
Not Dak at all. And I think you're right. He's forcing a lot of passes in there, and he's just not been accurate these past couple games. I mean, it started out in Buffalo when he was kind of running for his life out there, and then it kind of carried over to the Chicago game. He just hasn't been accurate. He hasn't been the Dak that we've seen earlier in the season with that command, that kind of cool, calm, and collect for this offense. They seem to be scrambling right now, but they got to get it together.
Let's hear from Dak Prescott, see if he agrees with our assessment after tonight's loss.
Yeah, we just didn't convert those third downs, those next few drives. That's when we got to make some of those throws. We got to put ourselves in better position as an offense to make more, to give ourselves a chance at converting those better, I guess you can say. And when you have a long drive like that, sets up for the rest of the game. But when you come back and those next few drives, you have to make sure you capitalize off those as well. And then I think that 4th drive, we had another long drive and didn't get the third down once again, and it cost us points. So just struggling with third down early. They didn't. They got ahead, and we had to play from behind, and we haven't been good at that lately.
Was the Bears defense much different than you'd seen on film?
No, sir.
Is this still this is a pretty rough stretch for you guys, Dak?
Sure.
It's still a confident team, you think?
It is. I mean, the confidence hasn't wavered, but we've got to figure it out. The thing that gives us confidence is the players, the skill level that we have, the way that I see guys prepare, the way the guys go about their business each and every day, but we've got to figure out what it is on game day to flip the switch and get the job done. No excuses.
Is that a frustrating part, just trying to figure this out?
Very, very. Can't put a finger on it. I wish I could right now. If I could, obviously we wouldn't be in this situation. We'd be getting over this and out of this slump, but that's the most frustrating part is we have the skill level, we have the players, we have the chemistry at times, but we're not playing together as a team complementary enough when we need to, and we've got to figure out what it is.
Describe the mood like.
And that is how the fans are frustrated as well. When you look at this, the numbers, the drop-off from the last 3 back-to-back losses, Nate, how much of this do you think of the offensive line maybe here?
The offensive line does like the team. They started out strong. They drove down. They gave him protection. It's been kind of funny how this been going. They either was giving him all the time in the world, or it would be a quick escape and put him into a panic mode. So just like this team all year long, they've been very, very inconsistent.
Very inconsistent, and I'm lost just like Dak Prescott is. I mean, how do you not put your finger on this? This is the 2nd straight stretch of 3 games lost in a row for the season. I mean, you got to figure out a way to right the ship. I mean, it happened earlier in the season. You guys kind of got over it a little bit, but then now you're right back in it. So you got to figure out a way. I mean, I don't know if it comes down to coaches or the players just got to perform better, but somebody got to do something to get this team going in the right direction.
Cowboys don't play again until they play the Rams next Sunday. Do you think maybe they just need to take a day and just think, like, I don't know. There's really no come to Jesus meeting that you need to have. You already had that with Michael Bennett last week, and then 2 weeks before that, Jason Garrett got the team together, which I'm sure happens a lot. But how do you even bounce back from this?
You take a look at yourself in the mirror when you're by yourself, driving in the car, at home by yourself. Just take a look at yourself and ask yourself, am I doing everything heavenly possible to make sure that we win this football game? This is your livelihood. So it ain't like college where you got to go to class. You got a family, but they understand this is how you feed them. So now everybody understands if you close the door and figure out what it is that you need to do as an individual to come up under the team concept.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to just, look themselves in the mirror and play for that name on the back of your jersey. I mean, if not for the star, if not for the coach, if not for your other teammates, at least play for yourself. Play for that name on the back of your jersey, because the effort out there, to me, it just didn't look good today.
Final break here from Game Night. We'll wrap it up for you right after this.
Thank you for joining us on the web. I'm here with B Church, and I'm Nate Newton. What would you do in a situation? Have you ever been in a situation like these Cowboys in?
I mean, I've been a part of a pretty bad team. We were 4-12 at one point. Right. We had a couple of those come to Jesus moments, or moments where the team had to speak to themselves, minus all the coaches, and we just couldn't get over it. I mean, This team, they have way more talent than we had in that 2015 team. So they've got to figure out a way. I know they will. They got to figure out a way to right this ship. I mean, it's the only way to go. The only way to go.
This is what you do. This is what you love. You work so hard as players. Each individual got to find a way to get up under the team concept, through his proper plans. If you're a defensive lineman, be in your gap. If you're an offensive lineman, block the right person, pick up the blitz. If you're a wide receiver, see the hot, run the right route. Do what you have to do to make sure you get this one win that Mr. Jones has been asking for. One win. And then it can start rolling. Hey, back to game night. See you, Ms. Lenz.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, Reliant, and NRG Company. U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Choose VA today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Taking a look at what is left for the Cowboys. I feel like we've said this over and over and over about how these are all must wins. You got to have these so you can not for the records or for the playoffs, but for your momentum.
For your confidence.
Yep.
Beat the Rams. Think Rams and how you as an individual player can win the game.
That's all they need to do. Just go out there, play your game, play a confident game, and go out there and get the W. I mean, it's the next game. Like they said, 1 week at a time. They got to get this W.
Always a chance, fellas, right? I'm not even being the optimist here. It's just the facts.
It is the facts.
right.
Got the
Straight
chance.
facts.
All right. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Lindsay Draper. Catch them on DallasCowboys.com all week long on their podcasts. We'll see you after the Rams game, right back here, hopefully talking about a Cowboys win. Thanks.